Hello friends, welcome to Gardening with Creekside. Today you might notice that we are in a slightly different location. We are at our sweet friend's house because this has been such a true testament of going from a self-proclaimed black thumb to a gorgeous landscaped front yard. This is such a massive success story, and I'm so proud of our sweet friends. They have done an amazing job. So we decided, came over here for dinner a couple of days ago, I'll say that. So we came over to dinner for a couple of days ago, and I was like, Amber, can I please film a video at your house to show people what you have done? And so she was very gracious and allowed us to come and do this video. But I just want to give you a little backstory, okay? So we have our sweet friends who did not know anything about plants. Every kind of plant that they talked about, it was a bush, and that was a joke to them, and it was a running joke, right? The bushes, whether it was a tree or a flower, it was all a bush. And they appreciate good landscape, but they had no interest of doing landscaping themselves. So Amber and I are very sweet friends. We go to church together, and of course, me doing what I do and who I am, she started watching our videos, just being a supportive friend. So this would be 3 years ago now. She came to me in the spring and was like, I think I might want to add a little something to my front yard. And I was like, great. And so we started with coleus, because coleus is a fantastic, just a gateway plant, right? It's sun, it's shade, it's low maintenance. Bugs don't like it. It gives you color. She loved it. She absolutely loved it. So she came back to me last year and we did more coleus and some begonias. We're taking it up a notch. And then this year they went for total rip out of their front landscape, putting in brand new stuff. So that kind of gets you caught up to where we are today. So they have a beautiful front landscape of their yard, of their house, which is very typical, right? It's kind of a straight shot. And when the before of it, what was here in front of their front porch were 3 massive boxwoods, okay? 3 massive boxwoods and nothing else, because it is this rectangle shaped bed, because you're dealing with the porch and a sidewalk. So you're not going to have any variation. What Amber and I kind of came up with is we went with the, oh gosh, did she say yin or did she say yang? It's the yin or the yang viburnum. I'll put it up there for you. The viburnums, and because these are great evergreens, these will fill in and get nice and thick. But like I've told you, in the meantime, right, while you're waiting for those shrubs to really fill in, we went in with the more beloved coleus. And in the back is apple brandy. So all of these are the proven winners. So it's the Color Blaze, apple brandy. Folks, this is one plant. That is one grande size plant. And Amber has been fantastic with watering. All she did was the time release fertilizer when she planted it. And they are absolutely stunning and gorgeous and beautiful. So we've got 4 different apple brandies. And then she came in. I just helped her kind of pick out to make sure that she, on her end, was confident in what she was doing. She's planted it and maintained it all herself. The chocolate drop coleus, and this is a trailing coleus, again, one grande size plant, and she has had to come in here and do a little bit of trimming because it has started to go into the apple brandy. But that's the great thing about coleus. You can come in, you can pinch it back, you can keep it contained to how you want. So if it were to come over the sidewalk and start to be intrusive, she just comes in and snips, and that actually helps the plant get nice and thick. So she's got 3 different of the chocolate drops down here. And then Amber, like myself, like so many of you, huge fan of lemon coral sedum. So 1 grande container here on each of these. And that lemon coral sedum is that nice bright chartreuse green. For us, it is a perennial, so she will be able to have this from year to year. Gorgeous color. It has just been fantastic. Every once in a while, you'll get a little bloom on it. And so what you can do, and what Amber has been doing, is you can just snip the little bloom off. Of course, you can leave it, but after a while, they'll start to look a little ragged. So you just want to come in there and snip those off, just kind of pull it, and it just comes right out just like that. So that is the only maintenance that she's had to do on that. And then of course on her viburnums, look at all that beautiful new growth. Lots of bright new growth. They have just been doing lovely here. So where 3 big, huge, boring boxwoods were, now you have got just a mass of color and interest. And then next year, depending on how much these viburnums have grown by next year, she can reassess. Does she still want to put a coleus back there? Does she have room for a coleus? She may not have room for a coleus. Maybe she only has room up front. So that's the thing, as each season comes along, you just kind of gauge how everything grows and develops. And then once we had, we're going to go down here in a minute, but I have to, while we're here, I have to show you. So Amber is, bless her heart, she trusts me with this whole gardening thing. And she has this great front porch. And I was like, you know what would look great on your front porch? First, I said window boxes. Like on the banister, wouldn't that be really pretty to have window boxes right there? And I knew that was pushing her a little bit. So I said, well, instead of window boxes this year, what if we do hanging baskets? So we did hanging baskets. Last year, she did try caladiums for the first time on her back porch and loved them. So she ordered these baskets from Kinsman Garden Company. You know how much I love them. And this is Fast Flash in here. There's a couple, I think there's 2 of the quart size plants in here, and they are just doing wonderful. Sun or shade, really, really easy. And then we even went a whole nother route, and I said, well, Amber, if you can do your front porch, you also have the garage, and you've got more shade over here. So she did 2 over here. This is Splash of Wine. So they are doing great, beautiful, nice, a soft pink and white and green. And then I'm so proud. A couple weeks later, she goes, Jenny, you know, I have this little space right here at the carport on the edge, and I think I want to put a planter in there. So this is Heart's Delight. So gorgeous, gorgeous color through coleus and caladiums. Just fantastic, and makes everything so homey and well loved. It is fantastic. And then moving on down here, now this is where some of the biggest transformation has taken place, because there was literally grass here. There was no flower bed whatsoever. So she and Ronnie developed this entire bed from grass to this just this spring. So all of this was planted this year. This is not even just a couple of months old, and look how beautiful it is. I am so stinking proud of these people because they have pushed themselves a beautiful design out of the flower bed. Nice curves, beautiful edging on it. Just did a great job. Okay, so let's walk through the bed, and I want to show you the plants that they chose to put in here. A lot of the annuals have been repeated, but they've got some fantastic shrubs and trees in here as well. So on the very end here, we look at this apple brandy. Can we just talk about how insanely gorgeous this hedge is? It is beautiful. When I was talking to Amber, she said next year, if she were to do this again, she would reverse the curve and have the curve come in and then just eliminate the lemon coral. But you know what? That's gardening, right? You do something, you do a design, you learn from it. The next year, you tweak it a little bit and you do something different. So the apple brandy is a huge pop of color against this emerald green arborvitae. Now this is a fun little story here between this behind this emerald green. So every November, my mama comes down to the nursery and borrows an emerald green that's in the nursery pot to have as her Christmas tree. So this was my mama's Christmas tree this past year, and she had kept it up at her house outside, of course, and it was just gorgeous. So when Amber, we were talking about this and we chose this tree, I said, oh, Amber, good, you get mama's Christmas tree. So here we have the emerald green arborvitae. It'll be nice and narrow. It'll be tall, but it's not going to get anywhere close to being as tall as the house, and lots of room between the tree and the house so that you can get between here when they need to do maintenance on the house and so forth. So it is doing great. Then she did 2 of the coffee cups. Again, these were grande size containers this year, and I think it was even a little bit later in the season. This was not part of the original design. But look how beautiful they are, and they have grown rapidly. Of course, the coffee cups is so famous because, I don't know if Jerry can show you, let's see, that there is, when the leaves are upturned, there is water holds in there. And then when it tips and gets so full, the water tips out. So coffee cups has those nice black stems on it, beautiful green cupped leaves, makes a beautiful presence in the garden. You see this right away. When we came over here for dinner the other night, this was the first thing that I saw were these 2 coffee cups. They will be perennials for us, so when we get a freeze, all she has to do is cut them to the ground, mulch as normal, and they will come back next year. So we got the 2 coffee cups, of course, the apple brandy coming across here with the lemon coral. You'll notice that the lemon coral she took all the way up and just ties in both of those beds. So even though they're 2 separate beds planted differently with different shrubs, she has that whole continuous same theme with the apple brandy and the lemon coral coming in both beds. It ties it all together really nicely. Other shrubs, she's got beautiful loropetalums. These loropetalums will get to be in that 4 to 5 foot range because they've got a lot of foundation right here, but gorgeous deep dark color. And they'll do the little hot pink blooms, typically, you know, late winter, early spring. So this will give her height as her loropetalums grow. She's not going to need her coleus, at least not here. So this is Golden Dreams. So she's got her Golden Dreams dotted down all the way on this side with those loropetalums. They really just pop off of each other and do really well. Azaleas. We went with 4 of the azaleas. These are those reblooming azaleas. Soft pink blooms on them. Really nice. And this is that time of year where they will do their summer blooms. So they are back in full, not full bloom. Sometimes the summer can be not quite as much on your blooms, but look at all this new growth on the tips. All that bright green foliage is new, and so they are happy and growing. Remember, this is the first season that they've been in the ground. So for them to have this much new growth and be blooming at this time of year, very, very impressive. So she is doing a fantastic job. The lemon coral goes all the way up with more of the Golden Dreams, the lemon coral sedum, and then for her, other than the azaleas, her diamond snow is the only flower in this bed. This is the only flowering annual in this entire bed, and so I love what Amber has done because it just proves the point that you don't have to have tons of flowers to have an absolutely gorgeous garden. You can use your foliage plants and textures and different colors and shapes and heights to have an exquisite, really attractive, really eye-catching, just so impressive flower bed garden. There are plans next season. I don't know if we're going to do it this fall, but definitely, hopefully next spring. And I say we, you know, if you do landscaping with Jenny, I kind of adopt your yard. So then it becomes a we, even though it's they are doing it. Is to hopefully go ahead and take this flower bed on around the side of their house and go towards the back, because right now, as you can see on the side of the house, there is nothing there. So Amber and I are talking about some nice big tall hydrangeas. This is the side that does get a lot of the morning sun. But anyway, if you are one of those people like Amber and Ronnie, who are self-proclaimed black thumb people who know nothing about gardening, everything's a bush, right? If you want to have a beautiful garden, you absolutely can. And I'm just so stinking proud of them for pushing themselves, getting out here, getting out of their comfort zone, and just trying it. Listening to our advice, doing kind of what we say in our videos as far as how to maintain and how to plant, asking questions, coming to us for help. Just so proud of them, and they are proud of themselves, and they are loving this landscape, which is the most important thing. So get out there, try something, y'all. It is okay. They're just plants. Get out there, have fun. You may never know. You may find this brand new love of gardening that you have never discovered before. So, as always, thank you so much for gardening with Creekside. A huge shout out to Amber and Ronnie for letting us come hijack their front yard this afternoon. Yeah, so proud of these two. As always, thanks so much for gardening at Creekside. We'll see you in the next video. Bye, friends.